today. USA won a World Cup game last night. Let's go. Let's go. I am so hyped up about it. And this is exactly what we wanted as US. I mean, for years we have been not good, let's say, compared to other teams. I mean, there's been small countries like the size of like non-major cities in the US that are better than us at times. And it's great to see we finally got that win versus Paraguay. And we got some games coming up. I mean, there's some World Cup games today. Like, you know, we've got. Let's see. I mean, if we're looking at it, we've got, of course, Qatar and Switzerland, Haiti and Scotland. I mean, those are two games that are going to be big games. I think Qatar and Switzerland. I think Switzerland wins that. I think that Switzerland team is good. Qatar is good too, but I don't know if they could hold up against it. I think Switzerland is going to have a usual where they go pretty decent into the actual rounds, maybe like round of 16. Qatar, I don't know. I mean, they're a small country that's like, I don't know. I mean, do they have a team that's better than some of Switzerland's best players? I don't really think so, but um, Scotland and Haiti, that's, obviously two mini countries. I think here's my take is I think Haiti's going to win that. I think Haiti, when they played the US, they were pretty decent. I think when Haiti plays even South American teams, they're pretty decent. So I think Haiti will win that. Sorry, Scotland. I mean, I have an uncle from Scotland. Sorry about that, but look, all respect to Scotland, though. They're pretty cool. I met some Scottish people on my trip from England to France. So the Scottish, they're very great. They're awesome. You know them. Um, but let's see. The Knicks versus Spurs. We got game 5 tonight in San Antonio. Will the Knicks pull it off and get their first championship win in 50 plus years? Years. Honestly, I think the Knicks will do it. We have a poll up on my channel if you want to see it. We're creating polls. I think the Knicks will pull it off. And I'm going to create a poll of how far do you think the USA will go in this World Cup. But the Knicks, I think they're about to pull it off. I mean, I'm working with the Pennsylvania Benjamins. It's the team I create sports content for in the moment. There's a big project coming. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm really excited to say it. But yeah, but he's a huge Knicks fan. And so I'm rooting for them because of that. And, I want the Knicks to win this. It's been 50 plus years. I want to hear people stop crying about losing to the Celtics, us Celtics, because we're Celtics. I'm all Boston. When I went to New York City, everybody's like, F the Celtics, F the Celtics. Oh, man. But honestly, though, I want to see the Knicks win it. It was kind of similar with the Seahawks. Like, I wanted us to beat the Seahawks that second time, but now we can have people stop annoying us about Marshawn Lynch at the 1 yard line. I mean, even though that was the right decision to throw it. I mean, if you think about it, like, you have no timeouts. Anyone that's played any football or Madden or any sport knows if you have no timeouts at the 1 and your running back was not doing so good that game, you run the ball. So that's just saying, think about it. It makes sense. I would have thrown a fade, though, not just directly to the center of the field. But, yeah, amazing coaching if you watch the documentary that shows how they did it. pretty amazing how they were able to figure that out. But the the Knicks, I think, will pull it off, and everyone's going to go crazy. Timothy Chalamet and Kylie are going to be going, oh my gosh, I love Timothy and Kylie. I ship them. I ship them like we're on a pirate boat. Yo ho, yo ho. What is the da 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 z? Thieves and beggars. No. Um, I do ship them. I do ship them. Yeah, I ship them. And I mean, Taylor Swift with it was there. I like Taylor Swift. I don't like it when people give her like all this crap. She's a great singer, incredibly talented. She's modern day girls just want to have fun. Sydney Lauper, you know. I like that song, I like her music, that 70s, it's just another manic Monday. Yeah, but I like that music, and I think she's a modern day version of that. And sure, people called her a fake Knicks fan. Sure, she's allowed to go to the game and wear a shirt that's in the font of the Knicks. There's nothing that's saying she can't do that. Everybody's trying to pick out every little thing, see what it is that that they could show to like prove it wrong, right? They're trying to find all the flaws. Obviously, Jerry Seinfeld is there, and credible actor, amazing. Um, amazing comedian, motivational speaker, love it. But what else? Let's see, Spike Lee, he's there. He'll finally get his wish. He'll finally get his wish. Can you believe that? Um, just checking the chat. Okay. Okay. But I really do I do think this is the Knicks year. I think I said it from when the year started that the Knicks will win the championship. Um, just be ready, and in the NFL, be ready if the Saints win it. I think the Saints are going to do pretty good. Um, what else? Uh so the Knicks playing last night, right? Their strategy when they were up by what, like around 30 points, they just kept on shooting threes. They just kept on shooting it. Yes, I'm left-handed. They kept on shooting threes, and it wasn't a good game plan. And then, you know, or this, the Spurs. Sorry, they were up by 30, right? That's what I meant, right? The Spurs were up by 30. Was not a good game plan. Um, I still think this doesn't define De'Aaron Fox or Castle. Obviously, hindsight, I mean, De'Aaron Fox was like maybe the best player in this draft. Everybody was talking about Lonzo Ball, and De'Aaron Fox proved that wrong. I think this doesn't define him as a player. I honestly don't think so. What else? So, if we're talking about what this means for the world, honestly, I think the World Cup fans of the World Cup are looking at the Knicks and Spurs. They're looking at it because this is what our sport that we're representing at the same time. And if we're talking about city culture, right? The Knicks are like the New York city culture is like desperate. You know, it's like they would pay. I bet you some fans would, if they knew it was a guarantee, they would pay to see their team win. They would pay for it, and they have because a lot of fans go to the games. I mean, I think aren't MSG Madison Square Garden tickets like the most pricey tickets in all of basketball? I believe in terms of stadium. Obviously, going to see LeBron is different. going to see Luka or Jokic is different, but in terms of a stadium arena, yeah. Um, I think that if we're talking about what the Knicks culture is like, or New York culture just in general, like what soundtrack defines New York's culture? I would say like Whiplash. Whiplash, or not going to say La La Land because that's LA, but like a soundtrack. Hmm, maybe honestly, I would pick. Yeah, I would pick Titanic soundtrack. They have such memories of wins and they want to bring it back. I think Boston is more of Whiplash. Dun, 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 right? Um, if we're talking about if we're talking about Philadelphia, their soundtrack, it honestly it would probably be like a war soundtrack, like 1917, because anytime they win, it's a literal war. If they win, they destroy the city, they tear down lights, they destroy like parts of stores and stuff. But I mean, I know New York does that a little bit too, but Philadelphia, I mean, even when they lose, they still do that, which is crazy. Um, it's just a literal war zone. It's Philadelphia's sports fan base is a literal war zone. I know because I live there pretty much, and I have a lot of respect for Philadelphia fans. By the way, guys, they're my friends, and we have a mutual friendship. We make sure that we keep it on good terms. Patriots, Eagles, Celtics, Sixers, Red Sox, Phillies. We keep it on good terms. Either way, everyone hates the Yankees, but no, I'm just messing. But if we're talking about LA, it's La La Land. It's La La Land. It's another day of sun. They're like always like having this box office. Like LA is known for like the stars, right? The Kardashians, right? The paparazzi, all that stuff. That's what LA is known for. If we're talking about Chicago, right? If we're talking about Chicago as a city, their cultural fan base, honestly, okay, I don't want to say seven, the score for seven. It feels like that, but because they haven't really won in a while. You know what? Should I say it? Should I say it? I'd say seven. Yeah. Just because it feels like everything's in the clutch. Everything is like, they're so clutch. I mean, and that's what the score for seven feels like. If we're talking about the score for Cleveland, Cleveland, this is for you. Um, I think the score for Cleveland would probably be uh got to be something that's like Akron. It feels like Akron, like LeBron related. Honestly, let's go with. I have an idea. I think Cleveland's soundtrack probably has to do something with crime, in terms of like a crime thriller. All right, this is gonna be weird, but I'm gonna say The Departed. Even though The Departed is a Boston film, I think Cleveland has a very Departed style soundtrack. Um, Looking at the chat again. If we're talking about Miami, I remember when Sinners came out, everybody was like, Haley Steinfeld pulls that Miami stuff. Nah, but if we're talking about Miami, I think Miami's soundtrack is just straight out of Compton. They're just, very hip hop, all that stuff. No, changing it. I'm changing it to Collateral. It's Collateral. Similar to the same director as Miami Vice, it's Collateral. If we're talking about, let's go another one. Let's talk about, are there any team like non-major market teams? Oh, I know. Let's go with like Baltimore. Baltimore. Baltimore would probably be Dunkirk because they're near a lot of water. You know, it feels like the war. The clock is always ticking on the Ravens and the Orioles and all the different teams. If we're talking Washington D.C., JFK, 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 just because it's very Washington D.C. based. You know, a lot of that is feels very political. Um, Somehow everything relates to a war movie sometimes, or everything relates to Pursuit. If we're talking about San Francisco, Zodiac Killer, Zodiac Killer. I'm not saying that. I mean, obviously, a horrible, terrible thing. But Zodiac was in San Francisco, and when you watch that, you feel like the mood, like you end up feeling the hurdy gurdy man. So, I mean, that's something that makes San Francisco stand out. Is like that hurdy gurdy attitude mentality. It's either really hot or really rainy. Then when the hurdy gurdy man came singing songs of love. All right, but what would make Oakland? I think Oakland would be the pursuit of happiness. Um, just because it has that Oakland feel. I know some of it's in San Francisco, but it has that Oakland feel. We're talking about Vegas, Vegas Raiders, right? I believe the Athletics moved to Vegas also, right? I believe so. Um, if we're talking about Vegas, Vegas, we got to do something that's more of like the social network. You know, everything just feels nuts. Whether it's high academically, educationally, no. Whether it's or yes, or whether it's businesses, sure. Everything just feels so like unbelievable, like crazy. Um, I think it's pretty unique. What else? I want to talk about like some of my creations that I've made, and then we'll go into music. I can't wait. All right. So like some of the stuff I made a few years ago, because I'm huge into like making some art and stuff, is like I made like a code language. Pulling this up, pulling it up on the book. Uh, where is it? I made a code language, and I would actually like, yeah, I would literally practice writing in the code language. I'd write every day concepts for films every single day. And then you see those letters that don't look like they're English. They're just, I would like write there or there. Like I would literally be writing in a code language, writing out stories every day. And it's good to learn. So I'd take a word, I'd turn it into a film, and I'd learn about the word and put it into a code language, like writing it in a story of code language. Because I think each film is its own language, and each film is its own perspective. And I think a lot of directors are cultural directors; they have their own language. So why not create your own? You know. Let me see. Pull this up. One day I'm going to show how to write in the code language, just because I have fun doing it. Pulling up the actual. Pulling up the actual. Here we go. Here we go. This is what the code language actually is. Yeah, isn't that pretty unique? Like it's if you look at like A, is that right trying to fix this on the camera right there. And then this. Yeah, it's pretty code, but it's good because it feels like it's like, a code language, which is pretty cool. Um, and that was good. I do a lot of drawing. I'm a huge fan of drawing. I think it's important, to find your artistic point of view. I mean, there's an art of sports, there's an art of everything. And I'm going to pull up some of those drawings in a second. One day I'll do a podcast where I'm drawing. Here we go. Let me pull this up. Pull this up. I'm going to be honest with you guys. You guys might think this might be pretty, pretty out there, some of the drawings. So it's not like it's, I'm no Van Gogh or, I'm not saying, I don't think of myself as like this greatest whatever ever. Here, let me find the right one. Give me a second. I think a lot of this stuff is, you got to find your own personal passion, right? You got to find your own like thing, like what makes you excited. I would make storyboards over and over and over, film them, rewrite them over and over. I think it's about learning the rules and breaking the rules. I think some of these drawings, I don't think of myself as the greatest artist ever, and I shouldn't, because that would be egotistical. And I don't like to say I'm the greatest at this, I'm the greatest at that, because that comes across as like, I'm not able to judge my own stuff. Pretty much that's how it becomes, and I think it's difficult for anyone to do that. It's never easy to judge your own stuff, but like, I'll show you. This is like, all right, I'm going to show you some drawings. This is like I would do like drawings of like ways to learn things. Like this is like the brain. And then like that, then that. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm great. I just, I just like drawing. It's a fun thing. And like, very unique. It's very unique. I don't think of myself as the greatest drawer ever. I think of this as something I like to do just because for me, let's see. Like, this is like some drawings I made to understand topics in my psychology class, right? If we're talking about, like, this was ways that, like, psychology of, like, how often parents treat children. Not saying I'm looking for kids. I never said that, but, pretty unique. And then it's interesting, like, this was something I made also. Like this one right here. Maybe this is better to do it like that. Or like that. Yeah. Or like this. I don't do this because I want to be the greatest at anything. I just do it because it's very therapeutic and relaxing, Yeah. Or what about this one? This. This was during my college degree. Or like this. Like, look at that. Right? Like, that's like his brain pretty much. This thing, right, I'm trying to figure out, right there is his brain. Like, like that thing right there. That's his brain. Because we're figuring out how the brain works, or like this one, or this one. They're all like unique ways of like understanding how psychology works through like a drawing. Or this one's maybe my favorite right here. This one, like the spiral of the head. This is my favorite that I created. That head spiral. Yeah. But then like this one is like two snakes. Right. This is an eye. These both of these are like, eyes, because I was trying to figure out, we had to learn about the eye in our psychology class. Like, how does the eye work? And so I guess what I understand is that the eye is trying to fit this. This right here is where we see through that little dot, the pupil. There's a dot in the center of our pupil, not the actual pupil itself, but this dot right here. If you look in your eyes in the mirror, we're seeing through. It's like a little cone, and we look through the cone and we see through it, which is pretty amazing to me. I was trying to draw different versions of it. And this is some stuff like reversibility and stuff. Steps to improvement is like, I made actual steps, stuff like that. This was like stuff I made to understand like how the, acronyms as photos to understand how the brain works, right? Like, yeah. Anyway, everybody, it's been awesome talking Knicks versus Spurs, USA World Cup, drawing, city cultures, and music. I'm your boy, Owen Shapiro, and I'm out. Stay cinematic.